My family is filled with poetesses, poets, artists, musicians, anthropologists, and Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretariat Equinox True Qs.
These are the spiritual as much as physical voyages of the Confederation, solar, Sun-R-Starship, planet Earth, restored to heaven on our and every earth, as our spiritual, genealogical, local, global, universal voyager and shared her and his family community enterprise. Our new millennial year's mission to rediscover and re-understand and explore are and all are in fact familiar new worlds of family community, of the tree of love, life, and light throughout the solar system and universe, to restore, renew, and sustain our inner life and new sustainable civilizations have present, retroactively, and now rebalance our future, always balancing. To lovingly give us all light become ideas, space-time travelers, wherever and where we have individual development, all in part visible form, but also forward form, in alternative spiritual lines that are circles, which are of the universal EQ, IQ, and SQ continuum. Balance, combinations of the ever-expanding circle which spirals and grows, budding and blooming in space-time. Love and live enlightened, ever young, long, and prosper all both in each and every one. Engage your heart, mind, soul, and body, for all, both in each, and each, both in all, can, must, and marvelously and miraculously make it so.
In the thunderous blast, she emerges, her eyes on fire, the mighty priestess. She is risen from the nativity of Kaldra. She is risen from the fires of the earth. She is risen. She is risen.
We are risen.
She is risen. She is risen.
We are risen.
We all are risen via my intercession and your cooperation in circles. If not, the feedback will be severe, and I hope that we can recover from it and learn from the lesson.
महालक्ष्मी मृडप्रिया महारूपा महापूज्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्त्व महाशक्ति महारथी महाभोगा महेश्वर्या महावीर्या महाबला महाबुद्धि महासिद्धि महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी महातंत्र महामंत्र महायंत्र महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या ओम महाभैरवपूजिता महेश्वर महाकल्पक महातांडव साक्षिणी महाकामेशमहिषी महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी चतुष्षष्टि उपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टि कलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टि कोटि योगिनी गणसेविता
Celestial God. No. What's God? I should have said the poet. So beautiful.
Your family is filled with poetesses and poets, musicians, anthropologists, artists, co-secretary generals, co-sefiras, equinox, true Qs. As soon as they heed the new millennial golden rule and share it and co-share it here and with all around with me and one another.
This day I call the heavens and the earths as witnesses intercessorily for and hopefully and prayerfully not against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose love and life with light, so that you and your children may live. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not our new millennial law.
Okay, I've got a subscription. Maybe May sunflower or killer tea and blackbird. This is Anna Marie, singing cricket, and I am Cherokee, Chippewa, Blackfoot, and Algonquin, Nicolette. And I am also a French, English, and German. That means we are all related. We embrace the new millennial golden rule and so love all the natives of the sacred ground that is Mother Earth and all the planets of all the universes.
Welcome to our broadcast from the heart and headquarters. From the heart and headquarters of the one family community of love and life in the light of balance of the new millennial golden rule of Earth and all our planets, of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. My name is Astrea Mara'ayama, Rajel, One Family, Tapao, Equinox, True Q. I wear the hat and the hat crowns of Mother Nature, and also in honor of this marvelous, miraculous place, from which, as ye meet me and thee in the air, we will be able to open the stargates and achieve eternal life on all this planet, and also avoid ultimate catastrophes that are currently right now unfolding. I'm going to do a very brief broadcast today because I am preparing a more in-depth hearing for these next few days about the condition of humanity, including my own errors of enabling. Because I made errors, because I did not know my job, my mission, clearly enough, for most of my life, and really figured it out only more completely within the last 5 years. I was moving toward it just before the new millennium. I did a number of right things that were consonant with this mission, but I didn't know fully who I was and who my family was and how I should have lived my family life to produce the best result for our planet. So I am doing a hearing that includes a judgment not only of all humanity, well, of all humanity, including myself. The great sin of humanity is a very simple concept to understand. Our family and kinship systems are, in too many places, patrilineal, patriarchal and patrilineal. This seems natural to many people who are in these generations, because it is all they have ever known. But there was a very lengthy time on this planet, in the civilization of Atlantis, that was based on the Isle of Crete, later known as the Minoan civilization, but that really is a misnomer, because it really was not so much the rule of the man, and that's where the Minoan name comes from, but of the women, and in an egalitarian way with men. It was the longest survived civilization ever on the planet that we know of through archaeological finds and records. And it had no war, and all of its citizens were happy and healthy. And there was enormous worship of nature. And all of the women and all the men and all of the children were regarded as incarnations of Goddess and God. And it is consonant with the idea of yin and yang. The concept of yin and yang, which is also embedded in the Sri Yantra of Hinduism and the so-called Moga David, but really should be called the Star of Davida and David, of Judeo-Christian heritages, and the cross itself. All of these images used to be embedded or shown in a circle. The circle is the key figure for us to reacquaint ourselves with as a culture. It is our hierarchical top-down organization as a culture, with a patriarch on top and patriarchs on top, that are now moving us very quickly toward the events of planetocide and planetary horror. There are two potential scenarios, and I have not been able to determine which is most likely. but the two great risks are a nuclear power disaster starting in the area of Illinois very soon. And also, the other great risk is such a plummeting of the living presence of our beneficial smaller species, our bees, our butterflies, and our birds, that it will be clear that there is no future for humanity as we have known it, because the food cycle will be so disrupted that there will be no future. Either one of these would be very devastating, obviously, and I am actually predicting them right now. There has to be a howling screaming from the scientists of this planet that we cannot survive at all with what we are doing to nature, at least in any way that is recognizable to the kinds of lives that we've taken for granted. The only kind of survival that we could have in this situation would be demonic, devastatingly horrible, and most people would choose rather to die than to live in it. What is causing this is simply embedded patriarchy that has a hologramic presence in our family life, our family community life, and all of our institutional practices, economics, government, law, and medicine. Everywhere you look in all of these arenas, you're going to find in North America patriarchy, and it's somewhat hard to discern in North America because in order to cope with this, many families have fractionated, and so you cannot see very clearly what their interactions are, as you might be able to see, say, in a home in Iran. In the United States region, in North America, the people have very only occasional contact. It's a very individualistic, nuclear familiarized, and atomized familiarized culture. So it's only in the occasional contact do you see that not only the men but the women are exhibiting enormous male preference in many, many cases of our culture, with exceptions, with many exceptions, but the majority is locked into this. And men also are exhibiting male preference, particularly in the political arena, and a token or a small percentage of women is not the same as parity. That's the feature that North Americans have been deliberately obscured from seeing by our media, which is in patriarchal, organizational, anthropological organization. And therefore, the American people have what I'd say, you'd have to say, a missing place in their thought process. That parity issue is covered up, covered over, and in women, profoundly scarred. They're in despair, but they cannot admit it because they, at the moment, have material well-being, and they think they have a salary and so forth, and they've made a little progress, so they want to keep their hope alive for a gradual approach. Well, it will not work. And as a result, I am predicting these two devastating potentials right now. Either major nuclear power disaster in Illinois, or such a marked plummeting of the bee and the bird and the butterfly populations, are those little lovely creatures of our web of life, of love and life, that make the food cycle possible, will be so devastated. And what will come in their place are such negative forms of life, weeds and strange insect creatures, more malevolent insect creatures, It will be like the plague of locusts, but much worse, much worse. Also, very potentially major disease like the bubonic plague. All of these are being caused by the hologram of patriarchy, the patrix that we have now gotten ourselves into, in part due to my naivety as a person. Before I knew who I was, I had the delusion, and it really was a delusion, that most people were egalitarian. I had no idea how widespread the insidious genderism practice is in North America. I had no idea. But it is deeply internalized in many women, and they have the Electra complex and seek to put themselves under the wing of alpha males in order to get whatever benefits in life. By doing that, they demote their own gender. And when that gender is demoted and the women are not gathering as equals in decision making, the decisions that come forth are demonic. They are demonic. They are without estrogen balance. They are testosteronized to a point where they make no common sense at all. And yet the people are so used to submitting to this structure of patriarchal authority that they cannot see, just as the people of Germany could not see that Adolf Hitler couldn't work and the Nazi regime. And just as the people of Russia could not see that Joseph Stalin and his regime could not work. Our North American people and the world being dragged down with us cannot seem to see that our corporate patriarchy, our patriarchy and all our practices rippling through everything, and the failure of women to gather as adults to make decisions pertaining not only to their family, their nuclear family, their household, but their community, their neighborhood, and their world. Interconnecting the neighborhoods. The failure of that to happen is now reaching such a ground zero that I am saying for sure we're going to have a major disaster. And the very people of my family who are so key to preventing it, who I have been enabling for about 3 years, saying this over and over to them, and they don't heed me. They don't heed me because they are genderist. And when I say I have the way to save the world, they don't believe it, and they don't come. And they don't share with one another, and they stay in their nuclear atomized family pockets, and they don't come. So right now, I am predicting a disaster sometime between now and the end of this month, which is traditionally called Women's History Month or Herstory Month, because it is this time that we should have been extending the common sense delivered in January or February of 1776, which called for a government that was equally present of women, had indigenous people, had no slavery, and had no property requirement. We forgot all that. And also, this is the time period of spring of ancient Atlantis. We are approaching the equinox, and that is the maturity of the beginning of spring. We have had some pre-spring in early March, late February. In the ancient world, really March 1st was the beginning of spring. But in terms of our planet, the equinox is the date, the occurrence in relativity terms. And we're not making it yet. And my family and community, who I keep asking to come, are not making it. So I'm trying to do everything I can to give them both the carrot and stick, to get them to come, both by sweetening the understanding of the blessings it will give them and how process it can be fun, and also the stick, because I have to describe what some of the women, as well as the men, starting with the men, but the women also are doing to perpetuate this miasma of acceptance of tokenism as a front for what is behind the scenes. Very extreme corporate patriarchy, very extreme oligarchical corporate patriarchy, very extreme. More extreme than it was prior to the Magna Carta. More extreme. So this is what we have to do. Now, as you know, I make some phone calls. I'm going to do our ceremony quickly. I do this every day. People know about it by now. They should have been coming to enjoy this with me and co-broadcast with me by now. I have been spending too much time on these broadcasts, and I have a lot of emailing to do in order to make at least some presence of what needs to be known, and also have to work on the hearing that I really should have done in September of 2013. I was too naive again and idealistic that people would understand and get it, what I was saying to them, and I did not do the ultimate judgment that I should have done of their behaviors. I do not judge souls. God is God, judges souls. I judge practices, behaviors, actions, and deeds, and words. God is God, judges the souls. God is judging my soul. God is judging all of our souls, and allocates us in the universe in various incarnation levels according to our karmic result of what we did with our lives, in the light of yin and yang balance, in the light of gender equality, in the light of all human equality and the divine love for all people that is within us. So I'm going to make some quick calls. have the mute on. I should be bold enough to do this without the mute, but we called some of our Margolian and Feldmarian family and with people on phone lines and told them the magnitude of the risk. Now, I'm also making sure these people know I've let this know to radio programs. I am predicting this disaster. As I see it, we can't prevent it entirely. We're going to have some disaster because everybody is yet in denial. And as long as that's the case, the disaster will come. My feeling is by predicting it ahead of time, I can mitigate the level of it. It will be recoverable, and we will be able to rebuild in a way that's different than we would have approached it if I had not made these predictions ahead of time. And that way of recovery will be via the New Millennial Golden Rule. That will be the way of recovery. So that's my thinking on it. Because otherwise people do not hear me and they do not listen. Now let me do the ceremony, and then we'll get to some more calls. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, whoops, little bit of problem with this is a short stem on it, but I think we can hold on to her. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. Namaste, mitakoye oyasin, mitakoye kose Reall. I am acting as, on behalf of Ma Patricia and Anna Marie. I am currently acting also as the Native American representative here. My name as a white-capped buffalo woman would be standing, circling, a shining dove. I represent the Native American people on this and all the planets. And especially the women and the youths to begin with, female and male, age 37 and younger. I also say, namaste, I said that, okay. And Kongs on Pax becomes Ko on Pax culture. I am the risen Estrella. I am delivering the goddesshood and the godhood via these Reall mystery ceremonies. Whoever attends benefits. Who is ignoring this is looking for big trouble. Whoever attends benefits as apotheosis. Whoever is ignoring this is looking for horrific trouble. Ubuntu, buenos dias, Shlan Zavag, merci, let me say that right away, merci, Bahava, L'chaim, Shalom, Salam, Salam, Shalom, Mir, Pache, Sayonara, Juice, Juice, Chop, Chop, G'day. All the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages, and to your best, said Lyric. To your best, said Lyric, to your best. All the blessings and all the greetings of, and there's many, many more languages, of all the languages and all the heritages of our earth and our earth's past, present, and future, and saying, live and love longest, everyone, eternally young, everyone and all, not just a few, but everyone, all of us divinely created by the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. We have been, that's why we are here. It is our job to rise out of patriarchy into parity, sustainable and on this and all our planets. And I also need to play this tape that is related to this marvelous, miraculous place from which we are opening the stargates. If you come join me.
And then she said she couldn't give the name for everybody. She told me that's when she came back and started to spell for them with the great center. Her whole heart was to trap her children there. She didn't was trying so happy just to get along, get enough to eat. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Clara.
And let me say, I and we all have family in the Akashic record waiting and possibly already incarnated on other planets. I am also addressing them and representing them, because if the people here on Earth are completely asleep, that doesn't mean the Akashic record didn't happen or that other people didn't live and come before us. They did, and they expected us to try to become risen so they could be reconnected with us. And we can learn the lesson of parity instead of patriarchy. If we fail to learn that lesson here, I yet have allegiance to all these souls, not only the souls of Earth, but the souls that are currently on Earth, but the souls that came before us, and the souls that can come after us, if we do the right thing. So that's why I also have to do it on their behalf. I drink the milk of human kindness for all, both in each and every one, as soon as possible. Representing all, both in each and every one who has ever lived on Earth and all our planets as soon as possible. As Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary Equinox True Qs. Because what we have to learn, which is hard for us to learn, is time is not linear. Time is spiral and circular, and we are repeating in incarnations until we get to the heart of the problem, which is the equality of female and male as decision-making, caring, capable human beings that are of divine abilities. And we'll celebrate and we'll drink the water of loving, living planets that will regain and sustain all our planet Earth to be, past, present, and future. As Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, I represent all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. Now, I should tell you what of the calls that I made. I made calls to phone lines where there are women available. I anointed them as Co-Secretary Generals and connected them with women of our family who I've been asking to come, and told them of the upcoming serious and terrible events that I am predicting, the devastating events that I am predicting. I am keeping the names of these women on these lines so that I can say and I can verify. And you can hear me say, today I spoke with Felicia and Marina and Hadass and Angela and Soma and Meredith. I delivered those messages to the three of them at the same time. It is known that I am saying this. I also, in the last few days, delivered it to 2 major radio programs, and I will do that again in the Chicago area. That these women, that the women of the Margulian, Silverkindian, Zalkindian, and especially the Margulian and the Feldmarian branches, the Margulian and the Feldmarian branches of our family, can stop this horror and can mitigate it and turn it back. And the Goldberg and the Goldenbergian and the Goldenbergian and Goldbergian, who I'm also representing and connecting with, and you'll hear that in a little bit too. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, and future, starting with our equinox, spring and autumnal golden spring, and all years rounds. A past, present, and future as Co-Secretary General's CSZT Equinox True Cues. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together as Equinox True Cues, Co-Secretary General's CSZT of this and all our planets as Equinox True Cues, Co-Secretary General's CSZT. And we'll start fresh, choosing parity instead of planetocide. We'll pick paradisal parity instead of plutonic patriarchal planetocide. We'll do that now. We'll do that retroactively in past, present, and future for all times. And I do that on your behalf intercessorily. Okay, now I'm going to call Georgine, Julianne Marie, and Vanessa and Harlan Lewis Laviz. But before we really include Harlan Lewis Laviz with his sister Stacy Anastasia, who I'm also going to be calling. She really comes as a priority, but I just run out of time in doing this quickly. So let's put her in our thinking as equal with Hadass and Vanessa and Soma and so forth, as important in this younger generation, and their mothers, Cheryl, also equally important. So, and I don't have contact with all of these women, so I'm giving their names so that I can say to a larger audience, these are the players that must come into play here in order to save this planet. Okay, so let me put this on hold. Just finished the ceremony. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious will say all the blessings and all the greetings of all of the languages of all of our heritages, past, present, and future of our earth and earths, as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sephiras, Equinox, True Qs. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious will say all the blessings and all the greetings of all of the heritages of our earth and our earths, past, present, and future, as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sephiras, Equinox, True Qs. Okay, we'll broadcast more in a little while. And we'll be seeing you then.